What's the longest you have left your young children at home? Well, we're going to talk about one woman who left her kids at home to go on a cruise. Let's chat about this. Hey, what is going on, Adventure fam? How are you doing? Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Happy Monday to all of you. Hope you had a blessed weekend. We did. We went to church. We had a good time. Went shopping. Did all kinds of things over the weekend. So we hope you did too. And look, before we jump further into this video and go over this crazy and irresponsible story, I want you to go ahead and subscribe. Become part of the Adventure family. And look, we want you to turn on those notification bells so you know when we post. And drop a like on this video if you love these stories and these news stories. And look, we got a good one for you today. But before we keep going, I want to tell you, I had an unexpected call or text yesterday from one of my best friends growing up. He's actually in town this week for work, and so we're going to link up this week. It's going to be awesome to see him. It's going to be great. Haven't seen him in probably 10 or 12 years, so it's going to be amazing. So can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. But let's jump into this crazy story. And look, if you've got kids, you know, as they get older, you kind of leave them at home every once in a while to maybe run an errand, go to the store. Maybe it's for half an hour sometimes, maybe it's an hour, depending on the age, those kinds of things. Certainly when they were 6 and 8, we weren't leaving our kids at home. They were still too young. But now that we got 3 teenagers, we leave the teenagers at home. They kind of do their own thing, and when we need to go to the store or something like that. We've certainly never left them at home to go on vacation or anything like that. And then, of course, Adeline, our 5-year-old, we always bring her with us. Of course, she's 5. We don't even, we let our 16-year-old sometimes watch her for a short period of time, but never for an overnight or anything like that. But one woman has taken this thing to all new heights. And yeah, this is crazy. So Lakesha Williams of Houston, Texas, left her 6 and her 8-year-old at home while she went on a cruise. Yes, you heard me correctly. She left her 6 and her 8-year-old at home while she went on a cruise. Let's jump into the story. Let's talk about it, and let me get your thoughts at the end. Now, 29-year-old Lakesha Woods Williams from Houston is facing abandonment charges, child abandonment charges, because she left her 6 and her 8-year-old at home in their Houston apartment while she took a cruise out of Florida. And you won't believe the details on this. This is just absolutely nuts. But she is absolutely facing child abandonment charges, which she should. And let me tell you kind of what happened in this story. And then, yeah, you won't believe this. Now, this happened in early April, so probably a couple of weeks ago, where the cruise, she flew from Houston to Florida to take a cruise, which was going to have a stop in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now, the details of this cruise are unknown. Nobody knows right now of what those details were. However, Keegan Childers, who is the chief prosecutor of the 209th District, had this to say to ABC 13 News. These children were left unattended for many days and put in harm's way for them to provide for themselves, feed themselves, take care of themselves, as well as what if somebody breaks in, what if there's a bad neighbor, any number of horror nightmare scenarios that could come up. Now, neighbors in the luxury high-rise community where Williams lives noticed that she left with a suitcase on Thursday, April 4th. However, when she did not return and they didn't see her return, they called Child Welfare Services to do a child welfare check on the home, to which they were able to find and locate the 6-year-old and the 8-year-old inside without their mother, living in conditions that were quite honestly unbearable, is what they say. There was food everywhere, the urine smell, feces. They were in unlivable conditions when child welfare went to check on them. Now, welfare operators didn't catch on until April 9th, which is about 4 or 5 days after the neighbors saw her leaving. And when they entered the apartment or the luxury flat, whatever you want to call it, they asked the kids, "Where is your mother?" And I guess the 8-year-old and the 6-year-old told them that their mother had gone on a cruise and left them there by themselves. Now, if you're thinking this mother is terrible and she is the worst, well, you haven't heard the whole story yet. And let me tell you, can she really be that bad? I mean, after all, she did have some remote monitoring. Yes, you heard that correctly. Remote monitoring. So before she left, and she must have known she was doing something she shouldn't have, because she set up a camera and provided a telephone to the kids so she can monitor them from afar. So she was hooked up to the internet while enjoying her cruise, looking on the camera, checking on her kids, using the phone to call them and checking on updates. I mean, this woman must have known she was doing something she shouldn't have. I mean, to set all of this up, I mean, I don't know how bad you have to want to go on vacation or go on a cruise or do whatever to leave your kids in that kind of environment. But the fact that she went as far as to set up remote monitoring so she can check in as if that was going to mimic or be okay to take care of her kids for what seemingly seems to be a week-long cruise is so crazy to me as a parent. As a parent, I would never do that. I think most parents out there wouldn't. Of course, there are some bad parents out there that neglect their kids and abandon their kids and whatever the case may be, and that's really sad. But to think that she can remote monitor them and that was going to be the same as her physically being there taking care of them is so crazy to me. Surprisingly enough, the kids were actually in pretty decent health when the firefighters arrived. However, they've since been turned over to a family member while they are prosecuting the mother. It's just crazy. You know, cruising, we look at cruising as one of those destinations and family vacations that kids absolutely enjoy. Adeline, our 5-year-old, loves cruising. She loves to travel anywhere, hotels, cruises, Disney, theme parks, whatever. She just loves to travel. She's kind of got that in her blood like we do. Our other kids, our teenagers, love to travel too. They love cruising and things like that. So cruises is one of those vacations where, like, you know, you can bring your family and they can have a good time. The kids can have a good time. Now, I know it all comes down to cost, but parenting all comes down to responsibility. And if you can't afford to take your entire family, you either leave the kids in somebody's care while you're gone, a family member, a sibling, something that somebody that they know that you know will take care of them, or you bring them with you. You don't just leave your kids at home for them to fend for themselves when they're 6 and 8 years old. And so it's just a crazy story. We don't know where this is going to go. Hopefully she's prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I think anything you do with kids, if it's neglectful or if it's abusive or anything like that, you should be held responsible. There's no rhyme or reason for her to have been on this cruise without her kids or with... Let me rephrase that. There's no rhyme or reason for her to be on this cruise while neglecting her kids. There could have been alternative options. And so I hope she's held responsible. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about this mother leaving her kids at home to go on this vacation? So let me know your comments down below. It's just a crazy story for today's Monday edition. We love you guys. Thanks for the support. And again, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Become part of the Adventure Fam. We love you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.